Hello and welcome to another fluffy video. And that's right, we've jumped on the bandwagon and we've downloaded Cube World and we love it. And we thought we'd give some first impressions of the game, having spent an evening of delightful multiplayer.
Joy.
That's right, isn't it?
Love. Yeah, it was brilliant.
So I mean,
wow.
lots to like. What are your favourite aspects about this game?
So far, pretty much everything I've experienced. I think I just can't believe it's an alpha. I mean, you got to remember, that's the thing that really blows my mind, is the fact that this is an alpha build of, the first release of their game. This is the best alpha I've ever played in my life. It's so smooth, it's so polished, it just works so well. We've been playing for hours now on multiplayer. We haven't crashed. There's been no.
And also, on that note of multiplayer playing for ages, the whole. I mean, let's be honest. I'm not exactly an IT whiz at networking, and we didn't really have that much problem setting up like a multiplayer server, did we? It was just
no,
and it worked. It worked solidly. There wasn't anything wrong with the software that would make it fail. It all just kind of was just just do it and go.
It was really good and really smooth, and the server seemed to work fine as far as we can tell.
So, like, in the sense of an alpha product, this is it. Almost it seems like it's an alpha in the sense that the game is pretty much a solid thing, and the only thing that you could say is really not like final is like the amount of. Well, not necessarily the amount, but just the fact that we know there's going to be more features added and that sort of thing. It seems like it's alpha in that sense, more so than it is in the sense of this might be buggy and break.
Yeah, definitely. There's a lot of things that are alpha in the sense of money and how much things cost in the shop. Because, for example, you can gain loads of money really quickly. And then,
you can.
Say a hang glider, for example, is only 10 silver. So you can pretty much buy a hang glider straight away. You have to skill into it, but the point being, it should be something maybe that you build up to. It could be, say, 50 silver or something to sink your money into a bit more. So I mean, things like that. That's and tweaks to, like, obviously there are no quests in there yet. There are missions, which basically mean that when you walk into an area where there's a dungeon, you get the mission to go and kill the boss of the dungeon, which is also great fun.
It is great, and they actually work a lot more dynamically than that sounds as well. If you haven't played, I mean, when you say dungeon, I mean, so far we've had a fortress type dungeon and just like going into the mountains and exploring caves and exploring hilltops and finding a guy that needed to be took out.
And he was literally a hilltop king, wasn't he? He wasn't like the other one. The first one was a catacomb, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was kind of like a crypt almost.
Yeah, and I've seen a palace.
Undeads. Yeah, well, we know there are castles.
Yeah, there are definitely castles. So,
but yeah, I mean, I just like the fact that it's all like unique to you as well. Your world is, it's like your seed, and it's just the game manages to just randomly generate that. And name it and put NPCs that are friendly in it, and
that's a really good thing.
Just populate it. It beyond awesome, really. When you think about like games like the old Zelda games that people remember as being just absolute awesome. This is like that, except for it's like your own personal version of it that you can share with friends, and there are no limits to what you can do.
Yeah, it's really good. The graphical look it works amazingly well. The vastness of the space is really well delivered, isn't it? Really, I suppose.
Oh yeah, I mean it is just a huge sprawling world, and we've barely scraped the surface of what we feel could be out there in our own little seed that we've been messing around in. We've basically been in like a wide area, but we know that it goes off in every direction.
Oh yeah, it's every direction.
Stuff.
There are other cities and towns and villages and things to find. We've only found one city so far. We haven't actually gone out of the land that we're actually in at the moment. So
we've kind of jaunted out to like 2 dungeon areas and had hours of fun just doing that.
And just running around finding things to craft and monsters to kill and
just so deep. And it's important to say I think it's one of those games that we're just kind of surprised at how much it kind of excites us.
yeah.
Which sounds like a simple compliment to pay, but I think it's an important one.
It definitely is. I mean, for example, we just fought a boss on a hilltop, which was a tough fight. It was unforgiving, but not impossible. So it didn't. The fights that have, the big fights that you have, and the complexity of them is enough to keep you wanting to do it.
Yeah,
and to
it wasn't
keep you
stupidly
having
complicated.
Fun. Yeah,
It didn't feel like you couldn't use tactics.
Yeah.
To defeat it, but at the same time, it felt like there was a freedom to develop your own way of killing it as the group that you had with you,
Yeah.
and your capabilities within that group. So, in the case of the mob that we were just fighting, it was a ranged mob, so we kind of thought about line of sight and just thinking about a boss fight as a team in that sense. It kind of harkened back to early WoW days in a sense.
Yeah, it did feel very much like that.
And it felt like that, but at the same time, it didn't feel like, you had to, come up with a tight, solid, you can only kill it this way type of strategy that the game would absolutely brutally punish you if you didn't, do it the right way. So it felt like there was a freedom to the way that you wanted to approach the fight, which is awesome.
Well, the cool thing is we had, because obviously each world is generated randomly. So this boss wouldn't have happened in a different place on a different world in that area where we were. So we had to take the terrain that we were on and then find a place where we could actually fight him without it being completely impossible. But what we did, we tried on the top of a mountain at first and it was just not happening. So then what we did was we pulled him onto this kind of flat grassy area with a boulder.
Yeah.
And we basically took it in turns to either kite him around the boulder and, I was healing as well.
Yeah, it was like if you got aggro, you kind of line of sighted him
round, exactly,
and the other person threw down some stuns.
But that wouldn't have happened on a different seed, because
no, it wouldn't.
Even if you had a hilltop guy to kill, it would have been a completely different hilltop, which is a really nice kind of aspect to it.
Yeah, I just really like the whole idea of an adventure RPG that is unique and personal to you and you get to share with friends. It's just fantastic. So I mean, we just wanted to quickly throw down some of our first impressions about this brilliant alpha game, and also to stress that it is an alpha product, but we feel like the pay for alpha price that is down on this product is worth it because of how polished it is. It's not like you're paying for a thing that doesn't work, unless in some cases there have been a few reports of like certain like older systems or laptops that have a hard time, or certain processors that can't.
Yeah, which isn't surprising really, because there's a lot going on, and I think Tim's machine felt the strain when he was running the server and
when I was running the server for our multiplayer, running the game and frapsing it and recording our dialogue.
And you had 10 copies of Chrome open.
I did have 10 copies of Chrome open, but the game still ran.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is good for an alpha product.
My machine isn't the best. It's quite old now, and it was running really well on an AMD card.
Oh yeah, well, my instance of the game ran like really, really. I thought it was like a completely different game once I wasn't filming it and had Chrome shut. So, fantastic product.
Just the combat, by the way.
Okay.
Combat is as good as you think it will be, basically. It's very action.
Well, it's action combat, isn't it?
Yeah, but it feels very visceral, very connective. It's brilliant. Works really well.
Yeah, no, I really like the combat as well. It's fantastic, and lots to try out in that sense in terms of all the classes and weapons and things like that. So, Brilliant, yeah, awesome stuff from Cube World there. But yeah, just let us know what you think about this game. Have you tried it yet? Have you been able to download it? We know that there's been some more issues with account creation on the store over at their website. So yeah, let us know your thoughts about this game, and we will see you again next time. Stay tuned for more Cube World and other content here on the Fluffy channel. Thanks for watching, and goodbye.
Rangers.